gamers and friendly knights everywhere. You have happened upon the Tac Nerd channel on a day of great tidings. We have a box opening here for you. This is actually from CDNN. I do order from there I don't want to say quite often, but a good chance. And we'll let this be a little bit of a primer on what CDNN is. They are sort of a clearinghouse, sort of a buyout place for, let's just say, sporting goods. But we're going to take a look at this. We're going to call this video, I think we're going to call this video Parts Rifle. And because as most AR owners know, you always have a bunch of parts left lying around. So you upgrade something and you've got other stuff hanging around. And the thought is, hey, a few other parts, I could make a whole nother rifle. Okay, so this is what we got. We got an upper because I had a lower that was kind of hanging around, staring at me, wanting to have something done with it. So I figured I better do something with it, and this is it. So, I've had some other rifles that I refer to as loaners. Just kind of wanted to do something slightly different with this one. So anyways, CDNN had some of these uppers on sale. Now, pretty obvious, they're making these things. They're constructing them and then putting them out, because this was advertised as having a Smith Wesson upper, and you can see right there, which is their initials. And then this was described as a Samson engineering handguard, which is pretty darn nice, I have to say, now that I'm looking at it. Now, I've had some experience with Samson in the past. I have their stock on my Mini 14. That thing is amazing. So they do make a good product. My guess is they made these probably a few years ago. With all the competition out there, it's very, very hard for a company to stand out and to make something that's going to get a lot of attention. And I think an upper is probably one of those things where you're just going to get buried in the market. It's going to be very hard. Unless you have something phenomenal, you're just going to get lost in the sauce, But this is a nice upper. It's T-marked. The Smith Wesson receiver is T-marked as well. Again, one of the reasons I chose this one. Now, this is described as a Smith & Wesson Pro Series muzzle device. I've never seen anything like this before. We're going to try it out as is. We'll see what it does. I may swap it with something. We'll see. The barrel is I don't know who produces the barrel, and this is very common for CDNN as well. Sometimes you'll just get in parts and it'll just say OEM manufacturer. So there's no telling who made these, but it's a stainless steel, 16-inch stainless steel barrel. And the reason I chose that is because, as I've said before on the channel, stainless steel is sort of, at least in my opinion, it's kind of a middle ground where it's not the straight melanite coating where you're going to get maybe a little more accuracy. It's also not chrome lined where it's going to be a little bit more robust against rust. It's kind of a middle ground between that. The accuracy is going to be good, maybe not the best, but it's going to be good. But I think for the price, this was pretty good. You're looking at about probably about 200 quatlus for something like this. And then I did get a charging handle, which I didn't have any, so I needed one. I think this one's from Bushmaster, so it's just an average mil-spec charging handle. So anyways, that's the upper that we're going to use. Now, as far as what we're using for a lower, I just have this PSA lower. It's actually one of their A4 lowers. It's a kit that I was going to build out an A4, ended up deciding not to. And like I said, I had some parts left over. This is a real nice Magpul set that I got quite a while back. I just never really found the right rifle to put it on, but it's well put together. It's a little bit loose, I'll admit, but it's not bad. And it is small, and it is very small and light, though. I will say that. And then this is the grip. These are their little sticky grips there. And it's just pretty average trigger. Again, this is just stuff that I had hanging around. So we're going to use those two. We've got this Bushmaster charging handle we're going to use. And for its heart and soul, we're going to be using this. This is from AIM Surplus. Now, AIM is another, I don't know if I would want to call them, I don't think they're on the level of CDNN as far as like the closing house type thing. They do make their own stuff, or at least put their name on some stuff. This is nickel boron, and I kind of wanted this to be sort of a, I guess if I'm going to go with any sort of theme for this build, it's going to be anti-rust. So that's what we went with. I may end up getting nickel boron, the trigger group for this at some point. I haven't yet because, and this is a parts rifle. It's just what I had laying around. And then I also ordered one of these. This is a little vertical grip to help. So that's what it's going to be. And I think this furniture should do, I think this should do me fairly well. It's very solid. I will say that. Like I said, I never really found the right thing to put it on. I'm hoping it works out good here. It is a little loose though. I will say that. But you know, it's not bad. This isn't going to be like a DNR or, you know, rifle or anything like that. So what I would love to do is to be able to put this all together for you. Unfortunately, I can't do that. YouTube doesn't like that sort of thing. They're going to think I'm corrupting you, your young and impressionable minds. They don't want to see that. Even though there's already hundreds of videos on YouTube already showing how to do this. If I did it, it would get flagged right away. Most of you know, though, all we're doing really is putting an upper on a lower and putting in the bolt. If there's any part of the process that you would not want to do yourself, it's probably constructing the upper. Or at least I would say that you'd want to have it done yourself if it's something special, if you really want to get decent accuracy out of it, because then you're going to thermal fit it. But it is involved. So if you're just going for something to shoot, a range toy, then yeah, I would just buy one, you know, because there is quite a bit involved to it. You really do have to make sure the barrel and receiver are fitted well. If there is any play or movement in there, you're going to lose accuracy. So first thing we're going to do is we're going to take out the bolt. Now again, this is nickel boron. It's very slick. That's the way these things kind of are. This one is not shiny. It's just, you know, it's kind of got a slight matte finish to it. And a lot of them come that way. That's just kind of the way they are. All right, class, we are back. So here we are. This is the completed rifle. Now I'm still waiting on some iron sights to come in. Those will be coming soon. I do have a red dot picked out for this. That's all we're going to put on. I'm not going to put any scope or anything on this. So there we go. And wow, we can put this little vertical grip on there too. I didn't want anything real big, so we ended up getting this one. And this is M-LOK, so should fit on well. It's from Strike Industries. Again, this was on sale. I have a feeling, same kind of thing. I think they're probably getting rid of this model, or at least AIM Surplus was. All right, folks, here we go. Took a little longer. To be honest, I never really liked M-LOK. I've always found them a little harder to get on. But there it is. That'll give me enough space to, it's a good memory spot for me. And I like that. It's real small. It's not going to hinder anything. Shouldn't get too tied up in things. Let's go ahead and give it a magazine. Now that is a 20 round magazine. So YouTube policies and procedures. So yeah. So there we go. Kind of a little, kind of a range rifle, kind of a loner AR, sort of a parts rifle. That's kind of what this is. We'll get it out to the range and we'll do some testing on it as soon as I'm able to get out there again, and we'll see just what kind of accuracy we can get out of this. Again, this is not gonna, I'm not gonna scope this. It's just gonna have a red dot. So, but yeah, it should be a lot of fun nonetheless. And I would say total cost for putting something like this together in today's market. Now, I will say This Magpul set here, this stock and handle, these are still kind of expensive. I mean, for relative sense. So, I'm going to say I already had these. You could use anything. You could use just regular A2 grips and stocks, and it'd be just fine. But I would say without those in the mix, I'm going to say you're definitely coming in at under 400 quatlus to put this together, because you're like at 2, 3, and then yeah, 3 and change for the rest, I would say. So that's not bad at all. And really, all you're doing is putting an upper on a lower. We'll see how this supposedly Pro Series muzzle brake does. But I mean, it's a solid rifle. These match up really well. A lot of times I'll put like one of the little rubber spacers in there so there's not a lot of, wiggle between the upper and lower. For one reason or another, these work very well. There's no wiggle room at all on this. Now, the finish is off really between all of these, but it's different brands. This is PSA, Smith and Wesson, and then Samson. If that's a big deal to you, then it is. If not, it isn't. There's a good likelihood that after this gets some oil on it and everything, it may end up matching up anyhow. So, but that's it, folks. That's it for now. That is how to put yourself together a cheap parts rifle using some stuff you've already got hanging around, and yeah, have that available for friend, family, yourself, range toy, whatever. There you go. All right, everyone. This has been Tack Nerd. Prep appropriately. Till next time.